How many of you remember when Kenneth Okonkwo said this?
That I am going to support a northerner in 2027.
Really?
Yes. And it must be, by condition to the northerners, it must be a northerner that the whole north will be willing to support.
Like an Atiku.
If the whole north is willing to support an Atiku, why not?
It shocked you, Abi? It shocked me too. It not only shocked me, it vexed me. But, no be that one shocked me pass. He said something worse. He said this, watch.
When Yar'Adua came in, before he finished one term, he died in office. Did the North insist that he must finish his 8 years? The answer is no.
Kenneth Okonkwo, very passionate, but he was passionately wrong. Why? How? Let me explain.
Tinubu has become incurably bad, and now you want to terminate his incumbency. Anybody telling you that it's injustice, if the North comes in, if the South comes in, and whoever wins in a primary election will take it for 4 years. Where is the injustice? It has happened before. So, and anybody telling you to bring a fresh Southerner to compete against Tinubu, a Southerner, is trying to tell you to zone the ticket to Tinubu, and Tinubu will win outrightly.
So you are saying that invariably, if the opposition wants to beat Tinubu and the APC,
yes,
the candidate must come from the opposite zone.
Absolutely.
He said Tinubu, the APC, were able to defeat Jonathan in 2015 because APC chose a candidate from the North. Is this true? Question. If in 2015, Goodluck Jonathan as president was very determined to rig by force by fire, will APC win? That's number one question. Number two question. If in 2015, instead of Buhari, APC fielded Atiku as a candidate, and the election is perceived as free and fair as it was, at least Jonathan did not show any desperation to rig. Do you think Atiku would have won? Or Atiku would have led the APC to defeat Jonathan in 2015? Do you think so? These are the two conditions that Kenneth Okonkwo's passion failed to account for, to realize. He says for Tinubu to be defeated in 2027, it must be a northern candidate because Tinubu is a southern candidate. But he forgets that one of the rallying points why people like Atiku left PDP to APC, right, was because Atiku felt, and many northerners, many Nigerians in fact, felt that the 8 years of the North had not been completed. That was the annoyance and the grievance of Atiku. That was why he left. So the preponderance of opinion, many people were thinking then that power should go back to the North. That was why. Now, he also forgets that a Jonathan was not openly desperate to rig the election. He was not openly desperate. Come back to now. The preponderance of opinion. Many people are thinking that the presidency should remain in the South till 2031. Do you still think then that to defeat Tinubu, you need a northern candidate? You see where the flaw is, the mistake, the error of Kenneth Okonkwo's analysis is? was a passionate submission, but passionately erroneous, flawed in logic. Not only you sabi speak big grammar, we sabi speak big grammar too, Kenneth. You have missed your way. I keep hoping that you find your way back. When the ADC alliance was formed, you said you were ready to work with Peter Obi. That got me excited, gave me a little hope, but every time you keep dashing such hopes, exposing your true intent, say now your pocket, now be your target. Let's come back to our story. So, is it true that for Tinubu to be defeated, you need a northern candidate? Is it true? When the preponderance of opinion, everybody is saying, let the presidency remain in the south, because in 2015, the preponderance of opinion was that let the presidency remain in the north. So, the answer is this. Where is the preponderance of opinion? If the preponderance of opinion is that it should remain in the south, then do you still need to feed a northern candidate? That's one. Number two, in 2015, the elections were perceived to be free and fair. Now, I asked the question earlier. If in 2027, the elections were held, what is the chance? What is the probability that it will be free and fair? Now, if it is not free and fair, the indications are there, is it possible for an Atiku to defeat a Tinubu in a rigged election? Because he kept saying, oh, if he's from the south and they rig him out, they will come and bear on Peter Obi and say, oh, he's your fellow southerner. Then I ask, but if it was an Atiku, they will not bear on him. He will fight it through. Fight it through what? By going to court? The same court that the rigor of the election controls? How is Kenneth Okonkwo thinking like this? Why am I even asking? Like I don't already know. You know now. I know you know. So if a northern candidate enters into a rigged election against Tinubu, he will now defeat Tinubu? Or if Tinubu rigs him out, then he will now fight and go to court and take the mandate back or take us to war? Atiku, that the very next available flight he has gone to Dubai. The only reason he's here is because of Peter Obi. Peter Obi is taking the shine away from him. If not, he would have waited till 2026 before he will come back. And then he will do what he knows how to do best. Play his power play game and get ticket. And then eventually lose in the presidential election. That's what he would have been doing. And for a Kenneth Okonkwo to think that, oh, if you feed a northern candidate and Tinubu rigs him out, then he will fight and get the mandate back. Do you guys see the flaw in that? The only way Tinubu is removed from office through elections is if the elections are free and fair. Number one. Number two, if the candidate against him is a Peter Obi, not just any candidate, not just any candidate from the south. If the candidate against a Tinubu is a Peter Obi, and the elections are free and fair, Peter Obi is the next president of Nigeria. Full stop. And Atiku does not even check any of the two boxes. It doesn't. So for Kenneth Okonkwo to so passionately make a submission that is flawed, it calls for concern for him. But then, for hope for us. Let us not forget the focus here: free and fair election. I have said it before, I will say it again, and I will continue to say it until you agree with me. Whether Peter Obi is in a coalition, whether Peter Obi is acting as an individual candidate for an individual political party, if the elections are free and fair, transparent, credible, mandatory electronic transmission of results from polling units to the internet, Peter Obi wins, hands down. But if the elections are rigged, they will rig Peter Obi out. It won't matter whether it is a coalition or whether he's acting individually. So, what should we, as Nigerians interested in a new Nigeria that is only possible with Peter Obi, what should we be doing? We should be pursuing free and fair election. Mr. Common Sense says this, and I believe him and I agree with him 100%. He says Peter Obi doesn't need to campaign for 2027. He doesn't. In fact, that is why for me, personally, all we need to do is go back in history and get what Peter Obi has said with his mouth, what people have said about Peter Obi, repackage it and remind people, for those who have forgotten, or convince those who may not want to have accepted before, but they see now, based on the reality of the punishment and the hardship that Tinubu has brought on them with his failed draconian policies. The only thing that we should be doing is going back and bringing all those campaigns. Peter Obi does not need to campaign for 2027. What Peter Obi needs is free and fair election. If we conduct an election today, forget all these campaigns that the APC and Tinubu have started. If we conduct an election today and the election is guaranteed to be free, fair, credible, transparent, Peter Obi wins. So our energy should go where? Ensuring that the elections are free and fair. Is that something we Nigerians can do? Is that something that is dependent on electoral reforms? Electoral reforms? Or electoral reforms and something else? What are the chances that they will give us electoral reform? Very slim. As much as I believe in what Randy Peters is doing, the chances are slim. But then I even take it a notch further and I tell you the truth, and I kid you not. Even with electoral reforms, we cannot go to bed and sleep with two eyes closed. We still need to put measures in place, people-powered solutions to stop INEC, to stop APC, to stop Tinubu from rigging. That is the only way Peter Obi is sworn in as the next president of Nigeria. Remember, I say sworn in, because it's one thing to win, it's another thing to be sworn in. Peter Obi won the 2023 election, but he was not sworn in. He was rigged out. In 2027, our focus should be on preventing rigging so that when Peter Obi wins again, he is sworn in. And that is why we give you Project Eagle. Starting with Election Watch, which we tag Vote Vision, that requires technology and people. Technology, the application, for real time, a people-powered solution, real time mandatory. Before INEC result land for website, our own don't land, because we have 600,000 polling unit volunteers. It is very doable if you want a new Nigeria that works for all. All we ask you to do is volunteer to become a polling unit marshal. Together, we will shine light on the darkness of the APC, of INEC, of Tinubu. We will shine light. And you know what they say, when light comes, darkness disappears. It is time to completely obliterate, wipe out, annihilate the darkness of election rigging in Nigeria. It is time. But you need to do something. You need to volunteer. It depends on you. We can argue and talk all we want. If we don't take this kind of action that I'm proposing, they'll rig us out again. And that's my focus, that's my pain. I don't want to be rigged out. I don't want to cry after the head is already cut off. I want to prevent the head from being cut off. I want to prevent rigging. Without rigging, Tinubu is as powerless as a newbie politician, a rookie politician. His only strength is rigging. And he's using every means available to him to prepare himself for this. So we should prepare with every means available to us to stop him. After all, what do they say? When the birds start learning to fly without perching, the archers start learning to shoot without missing. The ball is in your court. Don't let people like Kenneth Okonkwo distract you from what is important. The conditions are clear. Only a Peter Obi as a southern candidate and free and fair elections can unseat Tinubu in 2027. And that can only happen with you contributing and volunteering to be a polling unit marshal. Links are in the description. Let's take back this country.